fired up the Q Vibes, laid down, slapped the phone on the side of my neck, and I've got a little kickstand on my phone. And so I flipped that out, put a pillow up next to my neck, held it on there. Neck was about 95% okay. I could move it all the way. The motion was there, or the range of motion was completely fixed.
Hey, Bruce, welcome to Touch Tales. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Tracy. In fact, I had a couple of instances I wanted to talk about where the first one was a month or so ago. I changed jobs and went back into doing part-time construction work. And I had some friends that had been dogging me for months about finishing their kitchen. So the reason I had put it off was it was baseboard work, which is easy to do, but you got to get down on the ground and get up a lot because you're moving along the floor. That's great if you're 10 years old or two, not so great when you're 65. And so I said, okay, I'll do it. And anyway, they were paying quite a bit for the job, and it would be more than I normally would make in a week. And I would take probably 2 or 3 days to do it. So jumped in on the job. It required a lot of more prep work than actual painting and installing. So the preparation was hands and knees with cleaning products to clean the baseboards and the floors, where the additional little what's called a quarter round is kind of a finishing touch to a baseboard when you have any kind of hard floors and the baseboards don't go all the way to the floor. So rather than ripping off the baseboard, starting over and have to paint everything, you only have to install the quarter round, which is the last little strip, and then paint it. So long and short of it, I'm on the floor for literally an entire day, cleaning and taping, preparing for paint. And so that was hard enough, but on your knees and back and everything. And so I did that for an entire day, came back the next day and was ready to paint. And so that's also hands and knees. And I did find a bucket I could kind of sit on for some of it, but most of it was hands and knees and painting a little bit, scooting up, painting a little bit, scooting up. Sounds easy, but it's not when you're not up and down off the floor 100 to 200 times in a day. So after 2 days of that, and then cleaning up, which is almost as much fun as the preparation work, that was a half a day. So it took 2.5 days. Got paid more than what I would normally make in my auto dealership job, more than I would make in 10 days there. But anyway, I get home, did some stuff around the house, and all of a sudden the shooting pain is in both of my feet, where I literally almost couldn't stand on them, just like it just overcame me. And I said, okay. And one of our other members had told me she had a lot of pain in her feet, and she had put the Q Vibes app on her iPad and would get it going and then lay down and put her feet on the iPad. And I said, I haven't got it loaded on my iPad. I'll just try it on my phone. So I got it started on the phone, laid down, put a pillow under my knees, and did 1 foot on the phone, and it stopped after about 15 minutes, and I couldn't get it started back up. And then I noticed my foot didn't hurt anymore. And it wasn't just the foot that put on it, both feet didn't hurt anymore, but the foot that was on there was definitely 100% better. Like went from excruciating, cramping, on fire pain to nothing. And the other foot was probably 70% better. And so I found that, not that I doubted it, I know it works, but it was truly amazing. And then fast forward a few weeks to a few weeks ago, I normally go to the chiropractor almost every week, just for normal aches and pains and things getting out of whack. But I've got a disc in my neck, probably long about C2 or so, that if I sleep any kind of cramped up way, it tries to lock up on me where I literally can only turn my head left and not to the right. And I could go to the chiropractor, which is a walk-in kind of place. I can go pretty much anytime, 7 days a week. And I didn't want to do that. So I fired up the Q Vibes, laid down, slapped the phone on the side of my neck. And I've got a little kickstand on my phone. And so I flipped that out, put a pillow up next to my neck, held it on there, and basically just to put me to sleep in a few minutes. And it probably went for 30 or 40 minutes. I'm not exactly sure. And then I woke up when I didn't hear the tone anymore. Neck was about 95% okay.
Wow.
Still was a little bit sore, but I could move it all the way. The motion was there, or the range of motion was completely fixed. Didn't hurt to move it, although I could feel it was still a little bit sore. And right before this call, my neck was a little bit sore this morning. I said, I'm going to try it for 10 or 15 minutes before this call. So I did it, laid down, got it fired up. What I would tell people to do is put it on do not disturb, because I had 3 or 4 text messages that came in and disturbed the Q Vibes, but I went right back to it, and probably not more than 15 minutes, and then had to come jump on this call. And I can feel it. It's a little sore, but it's not the stabbing pain in the middle of my neck that I would normally have after sleeping weird on it.
Incredible.
So really, really works. I've got a couple of older friends with all kinds of aches and pains, and they're in their 70s and mid to late 70s, and they whine all the time about they can't get the app started. And so I said, look, delete it, reload it, try again. Well, now it won't take my password. Change your password, and make it something easy. Quit trying to get, all complicated with your password. It's not like anybody can steal anything from you if they did hack into your account. So, but the main thing is use it, and use it as often as you can. What's funny, there's been a few in the last few weeks, other than my neck, I'm having a hard time finding stuff that hurts to remind me to use it. And that's amazing in and on its own, because as much as I like to work with my hands, use power tools, swing a hammer, just doing normal stuff around the house, if nothing's hurting, I'm not thinking about it. But I think for general well-being, I know it helps me sleep better ever since, and it's been 4 years, or almost 4 years, since we've had the handheld devices. I have, in all my years, I have never slept as good as I've been sleeping the last 4 years since I started using the QHS products. So just amazing. And I just have to remember to use it when I'm not thinking about it. If nothing else is going on, use it. It's just, I can't say enough good about it, but you do have to be diligent in using it. It seems like, and I don't know how it's programmed, but it seems like I can use it up to about 46 minutes now. And when I started out, one of the other members said, well, you only want to use it 10 or 15 minutes starting out. Like, okay. So I did that. And then I started just going longer and longer. And I noticed that it allows me to go about 45 or 46 minutes every time now. The only time it didn't was a few weeks ago when my feet were really hurting. Then it would only go about 15 minutes and I could not get it restarted. But after that time, it's been 40 plus minutes if I have time to sit there and do it. And it works a whole lot better if you lay down and be still, or at least sit and be still. And if you can't do that, start a movie or video or something and stick it wherever you're going to stick it and just sit and don't move. The more you move, the more it tends to try to bump it off. I've tried using it driving, doesn't work so good because,
Oh, don't do that.
and
Cynthia will say, don't use it driving.
well, for two reasons. One, it tends to put you to sleep. And two, you're going to bump around enough that it'll keep turning it off. And that's very frustrating. So don't do it driving. Best to lay down if you can. If not, at least sit still and you'll get the best results is what I'm finding.
Awesome. So did you happen to hear yesterday's call?
No, I did not.
It was a good one. You're going to want to hear the replay.
Okay.
So this was all about the Q arc, which
Oh,
brings
cool.
me to my question. What are you looking forward to when your body is 30 years old?
Uh, I will probably start another family.
Nice.
Um, assuming I have a willing partner, I would probably have more kids. I only have 5 now and 10 grandkids, so I figure, maybe not 5 more, but a few more.
Wonderful. So you're single right now?
About to be, yeah.
Oh, well, you know what we're doing? We've talked about it, but we are talking about doing a dating app for only post QARC people.
That would be awesome. So I created with a partner a dating app 20 years ago, and we were teaching guys. It was called supply side dating. We were teaching guys how to not be dorks when they're writing their profile, and it worked. We charged $99 a month. For a while there, we had 1,000 people on it, and it worked really well for better part of a year. And then there are others that were much cheaper than ours, and we just let it kind of fade out. But that would be an amazing thing. And I've had some conversations with a couple other people about that, not about the dating app, but their current partner is not a believer. And I said, well, they'll have an opportunity to do this. And if they don't want to do it, and I understand why some people wouldn't want to, but I can't imagine not wanting to feel young and virile again. And especially since the other blessings that are going on that I'm sure you're aware of, why not?
Why not?
Uh,
You have more life to live, more
yeah,
work to do.
exactly. And, some people have said, well, wouldn't that be weird if you have to end up burying all your kids? I hope not, because I hope they'll want to get to a point where they'll want to use it too.
Exactly.
Well, gosh, do you want to outlive your grandkids? Maybe, if they're idiots. I mean, you can't really control how the grands and great grands are going to turn out. So, um, why not? Why not at least feel good? Or if, God has in mind what time is it anyway, well, why not feel, 100% right up until the last moment? So, uh, I have no problem uh, religiously or spiritually doing that, because you want to be the best you can possibly be.
And in the Bible, they all lived for a very, very long time.
Oh shoot, yeah. Well over 100 was the average, and before, back in Noah's time, people constantly lived to be several hundred years old, and they talked about, especially numbers cracks me up because so and so begot so and so begot so and so begot so and so begot so. Wait a minute, that's more than 20. How did they do that? And whatever they were eating back then, if a woman, in her uh, childbearing time here could crank out 20 kids or more, that's pretty amazing. And so, I don't necessarily want to be King Solomon, but it would be fun to be in great shape for a lot more years. I'm still in really good shape for my age, but I hate that term for your age. I think it'll be more funny when, meeting somebody or doing, going out and playing sports with the kids, so to speak, and somebody says, old are you anyway? As I, jump up and spike the volleyball, and I'm the short guy on the team. And I'll say, well, I'm only 110, or whatever it is at the time. And I think that'll be a whole lot of fun.
Well, the world's going to know all about it. It's going to become the new mainstream, and
Yep.
they get a choice. They can jump on and feel good all the
Yeah.
time or not. And
Well, one of my good friends, who's one of the founders of this deal, he says, "Well, I'm going to have at least 4 of them." I'm saying, "Okay, well, are you going to have public clinics or just?" He goes, "Oh, no, none of this would be public. It will be private, word of mouth only, and it'll be at least for the first year free to anybody that's interested. And after that, there'll probably be some cost for it, but you could charge literally anything you wanted to, and people would line up. And I don't think it's necessarily a right to charge an arm and a leg for it, but charge some reasonable cost for the service. And this is not guaranteed to diagnose or cure anything, but talk to the people who have done it. And I think, and I forget exactly what number I am down the list, but there'll be several hundred people go before me. And if I have any reservations after talking to, many of those people that I know, and I don't think there'll be any reluctance on my part to do it. And, would you want to fix everything? Would you want to have your hair back? Well, maybe. But, if you've had any surgeries or had, stuff removed, yeah, you're gonna get that back, and then some, and it'll be 100% the way it's supposed to be, and not necessarily how you were born. So I think that's pretty amazing, and also pretty cool to be able to fix certainly what man has tried to screw up, especially if you look at what the COVID shots did to people, and screwing up their DNA, and screwing up, cancer they had been cured of, came back, and in a harsh, very harsh way. I've had now 5 relatives, and 2 of them had some serious cancers already and probably didn't have very long to live, but the jab killed them in short order. One of them in a few days, 2 of them in 2-3 weeks, and a couple of them within a couple of months. And they had been reasonably healthy before that, except for the 2 that had cancer.
wow, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So, and we told them, don't do it. Don't take the shot. Don't take the shot. Don't take the shot. And they did it anyway. Well, my doctor says, ask your doctor if he took it. Well, he wouldn't answer that. That should tell you something.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Ask your doctor what they did.
Yeah. One of my friends, you probably know him pretty well, is a physician that's in our program. And I always ask, he's had some of the same medical issues that I have with sports injuries and stuff like that. And I said, what would you do for that? Here's what I'd do for it. And so I did. And, between that and the Q vibes has really helped. And I would say 100 times more than the devices we were carrying around. And, most of the devices we've had don't hold a charge anymore. And since they're not replacing them, uh, Q vibes is the way to go. The ones that will still charge at all, I just leave them plugged in next to the bed, and use those as well as they as they will take power. But if it doesn't hold a charge, then there's no need in carrying it around.
Cynthia talked about that yesterday on the call, so take a look, listen to the replay.
Okay.
Going to be going to an announcement soon.
Cool. I will do that.
Awesome. Well, Bruce, what would you like to say in closing, my dear?
Well, in closing, yes, the technology is amazing, and yes, it does work. So just try it. I have a lot of people that uh, until they started telling us, don't let somebody else use your device. I had let other people borrow my devices, and in 99% of the cases, they noticed that it helped them with something. And so I know the technology works. I know they're making it better, every day. And so I'm excited to see what's next.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bruce. I'm so happy that you had such great results and getting back into the construction field isn't easy. So thank you for sharing your story on Touch Tales.
All right. Nice to be here. Thanks, Tracy. Appreciate you.